Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another post-fight analysis video. All right, y'all, Montana De La Rosa versus Mayra Bueno Silva. Man, I was right about two things in this fight. Number one, there was going to be blood, and number two, Montana De La Rosa was going to land some nice strikes, but she was not going to commit to the game plan. Those are the two things I was right about in this fight. And once again, Montana De La Rosa, she showed some nice, powerful right hands, but she just would not execute. Mayra Bueno Silva, she was putting some nice pressure, walking Montana down, landing some nice knees, but it was like, let's stop doing this altogether. That's kind of like what both fighters were saying. And I feel like if I was in the corner of Mayra Bueno Silva or Montana De La Rosa, I would have been losing my voice. I really would have been losing my voice because I was like, what the hell are y'all doing? Like, the game plan to win this fight is right here for both of y'all, but instead y'all choose to leave the track and do something else. Y'all want to try to do something else that's not even working. Montana De La Rosa, the 1-2 is working. If you would just simply pace yourself and just piece her up, let her come to you round after round, you could possibly get her out of there. But instead, you want to try to clinch with her or lay on her and wrestle with her when she's still fresh. So you're using a lot of energy. You're getting hit with big knees. Mayra Bueno Silva, on the other side, is landing some nice knees in the clinch and good kicks to the body. But she's constantly letting Montana hit her with the right hand and take her to the ground. You know, so all in all, man, I would have been happy if either fighter won. You know, like, I picked Mayra Bueno Silva, but if Montana De La Rosa executed a good game plan, I would have gave her full credit. I would have been like, that was a good fight. You executed a good game plan. I may have picked Mayra, but if Montana showed me up and proved me wrong, I would have been fine with that. But instead, neither fighter came in with octagon IQ, so a draw was given out. And that's, I feel like that was fair enough. But real quick, let's go back and look at the first round. First round right away, this is what I'm talking about. Montana started off in the first minute with good 1-2s, good cracking right hands. Silva, she was landing some nice body kicks and goes in for a clinch. Montana's looking for that single leg. Silva almost locked in with a guillotine attempt. And this is what I'm talking about. Montana, instead of separating and going back to striking, she wants to stay on the inside and work in this clinch. But Mayra Bueno Silva showing good, solid takedown defense, and she's actually doing more effective work in that clinch. She's landing the good knees. She's doing the damage. But whenever Montana almost gets that takedown, Mayra Bueno Silva grabs that fence, and the ref, he takes a point, which I thought was harsh. I thought that was harsh right away because this was the opening round, and on top of that, it wasn't like it was a habit of Mayra Bueno Silva. It wasn't like she kept doing it, constantly grabbing for the fence, but he took the point right away. Instead, he should have gave her a hard warning and let Montana have the takedown. They could have started on the ground. That would have been fair enough. But Montana, she started off once again at a distance, landed some nice front kicks here, and then the right hands were looking fluid. I was like, okay, if she just keeps working this striking, she'll get it. She'll start to get it. But Montana's going for these takedowns. When she goes in for these clinches, she's eating big knees from Silva. And I don't know why Montana's not keeping this standing, because when you go in the clinch, that's where Silva's effective. She's effective in these rough, ugly fights. Montana has got the reach. She's got the power. She's got the effectiveness. Why not commit to these shots? So this round here, I would have gave it to Montana, but I feel like it was a 9-9 round, in my opinion. Going back and looking at it, I feel like it was a 9-9 round just because, the point was taken from Mayra Bueno Silva. Mayra Bueno Silva was doing the more effective clinch work, and the more effective shots started to land throughout the fight, throughout that first round. So I had to say it was a 9-9 round. So, yeah. Second round, Montana's pumping out a nice jab. She's pumping out that nice jab. Silva, she comes back with some big head kicks and some good punches. Montana's eye is really starting to swell here. She really needs to work on her defense, I will say that. And once again, Montana's looking for that takedown, but Silva, she reverses it, gets on top, starts landing some nice ground shots, and she's landing these big cracking shots to Montana's face. When they get back standing, Silva's applying that pressure, and she's backing Montana up, looking to close that distance, control these clinches, land some nice head kicks once again, and some right hands from outside. Montana's jab and her right hand now, they're not as effective because she's not making that adjustment on the fly. Like, she's doing too much tit for tat. She's not trying to slip and counter and use timing with these jabs and these punches. She's exchanging too much. So the steam is coming off of her shots, and she's not committing to it. And the thing about Montana is, I think that she's definitely not a big fan of striking, because when she gets hit with a few shots after throwing her own shots, she wants to go back to wrestling. She's like, okay, this striking thing ain't for me. Let me go back to wrestling. Even if it's effective, she won't commit to the punches because she doesn't really like to be punched. She doesn't like to be punched. Well, if you don't like to be punched, you need to learn how to slip and jab. If she learned how to slip and jab more, she'd get her own shots off, and then she could commit to her own jab. But she kind of gives it up. So second round, I had to give this Silva. I feel like she did the better work. Even though Montana finished on top, I felt like Silva, she controlled it. She did the more damage. Last round, Silva, she was walking Montana down, looking to apply that pressure, landing some big head kicks and some good knees in the clinch. And in my opinion, Silva really needed the finish. She really needed that finish because if she committed to those sequence of knees that she landed in the clinch, Montana would have got out of there because Montana's eye was like a golf ball and she was leaking. She was leaking bad, and Montana buckled a couple times from these knees to the head. But every 30 seconds, Mayra Bueno Silva would quit. It was like she would quit landing these hard shots. She would give her time to recover, and that would kind of pass up that opportunity for Silva to get this fight. But I think Silva started to gas out. I think for one, because she was letting the bigger fighter lay on her. The much bigger fighter was laying on her, and she just didn't know how to work at a range and keep Montana off of her as well. So the last 50 seconds, Montana, she bags another takedown. She winds up on top. Doesn't really look good in this round, in my opinion, but I still feel like Montana, I think she did enough to edge that round. So overall, I had it 9-9 the first round, and I gave him a round apiece. So it did look like a draw. It did look like a draw. I would have been mad if Montana edged it, just because I feel like Mayra Bueno Silva let too many moments pass. She continued to let Montana take her to the ground, and she just didn't look effective on the ground herself. And she kept giving Montana time to recover. But overall, Montana, her striking, it's not that effective. It's definitely not that effective because she abandons it whenever she starts to get hit, or she just wants to go back to wrestling for whatever reason. In my opinion, I would want to just use a jab all night if that's working. I would just want to use a jab all night instead of just trying to lay on somebody and exert too much energy. So, it's a learning experience. They deserve the draw because neither one of them really executed a good game plan or committed to what was working. I could see the keys to victory right there in front of them, in front of Mayra and in front of Montana, but neither one of them really wanted to execute it. They kept wanting to try and do their own thing. It was just kind of like a immature thing. You see little kids, when you tell them to do this, they want to do that instead. So it was just oh man, okay, they want to do this, okay, well, whoever loses, or if this turns out to be a draw, it's your own fault. So yeah, man, moving on from here, there's a lot of things these two ladies need to work on for Montana to get back into the top 15. She really needs to develop that jab and commit to it. It looks nice, but you got to commit to it. The jab ain't nothing unless you commit to it. Mayra Bueno Silva, she really needs to work on her game plan of just committing to what's working and going for the kill. She's this rough and rugged fighter. Why not go in there and kill her? Going for the kill whenever you smell blood, But yeah, man, that's all I got on this, guys. Let me know what y'all thought of the fight. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.